Welcome back, where day 2 has gone blue. Bet you didn't know I could rhyme, did you? Nor could I. I've been thinking of that one for a while. Q School, second day of action from the UK, and there's a lot to go through here in the early goings. There's a lot of players that we'll be quite familiar with going out, and we talked about this yesterday. We talked about the fact that the UK seems to have a lot more recognisable faces. We can see the contrast between the UK to the European yesterday, certainly in the early rounds in regards to the levels and the standards. And we could see that here as well with some of the players that have gone out early in this phase. Jake Jones actually got through Q School a couple of years ago. He's looking in a spot of danger here after a first round defeat in the round of the 512. Sam Jackson's the one we spoke about yesterday, getting through quite convincingly there. Gemma Hayter, I believe, from what I've seen, is the only female player taking part in the UK Q School. Steve Beaton looking to get back to action yesterday, lost in the final game. Starts off well there, comfortable win against a player averaging 59 for Kyle. That could be his big game going up there against Steve Beaton. Tommy Morris, someone I really do like from the time at the Super Series, got a lot of time for him. Very, very good player. I think he'll achieve something pretty well pretty soon. Steve Hine, been around the tour for a lot of years, keeps trying to get his card back, but not been able to do so. Jim Walker and Gary Blaze, two other ex-tour card holders, but the most recent one is Callum Gothin. He had a tour card just a year ago. He's lost that, not able to regain it, and needs to get some good darts going here if he is going to get through the opening phase of Q School. A couple of familiar faces here. Remember James Richardson beating Raymond van Barneveld at the World Championship. He goes through by 5 legs to 1. Good wins as well for players that have played World Championship finals in the past. Mark Durbridge didn't win his, Richie Bennett did. John O'Shea's talked very fondly about getting back onto the Pro Tour and how he wants to go and do it and have another opportunity at it. That's not the darts though, it's going to get him there. He's a lot better player than that, and he'll be disappointed with the performance of which is shown in that game. Pete Burgoyne, a few years ago, was getting his call-ups off the Challenge Tour, was knocking on the door, but hasn't yet got onto that tour on a full-time basis. Geoffrey Murray, and I saw people asking where Geoffrey Heath was. Not on the sheet again by the looks of things here in the early rounds. Geoffrey Murray's going to have to be our ones. Yes, it's Jeff, not Geo. Geoffrey. A few other interesting results here. Gary Mawson, runner-up at the UK Open many, many years ago. From America, which means he could have gone to the European, opting to come to the UK Q School. Much better performance from him against Scott Taylor, who continues to struggle when it comes to getting through Q School. Maybe another year on things like the Super Series for Scott Taylor. John Henderson, it wasn't the performance, but he got the result. And Charlie Large there, unable to back up the performance of which he's shown yesterday, but he's got a lot of points on the board. Now, I will cover this as the video goes on. We'll have a look at the points in the system to see who's probably in, because there's going to be people in who are on the point system, which means they could technically have a day off tomorrow. In the round of 2, 5, 6, let's take a look at the players who had good performances. This is the players that averaged over 95 in that round. A couple of really interesting ones here. Harry Williams, 5-3 victory there over Reece Colley. On what we've seen so far from the players and expected name value, you'd expect that Reece Colley would have got through that one. However, good performance from Harry Williams takes him out there. Nick Cox, the brother of Lee Cox, someone you may see on the Super Series on a regular basis, picked up a Challenge Tour title. Good to see him at Q School, picking up a good victory there, 95.69 the average. Chaz Barstow, someone we drew attention to yesterday as one of those players that has the ability but hasn't really shown the application for a couple of years. Did today. 5-1 victory against Colin Osborne, runner-up at the UK Open many years ago. Average of 100 there for Chaz Barstow. Kevin Burness, keep your eye on this chap. From Northern Ireland, quality dart player. I always describe him as a bit of a pest. Very hard to shake off, very tough to beat. And Barker didn't really land a blow. 5-0 there for Kevin Burness. And David Sharp, who, if memory serves me right, I believe I christened the nickname Mr. Bean when he played at the Modus Super Series. 101.55 average, 5-0 the victory, no problems whatsoever there for him. So that moves us through to the last 1 to 8. Now, people have asked how the points work. Points are awarded for wins, essentially, but at the point everyone's played. So points will now start kicking into action, but the main thing is get yourself in the last 16, you're through, and then the points will work themselves out eventually if you need them. I think 3 points is probably going to be enough to get you through, possibly 4. We'll have a look more at the end of the day. That'll give us a better indication. And as I said yesterday, guys, I'm having a bit of a clearance here in the studio. So if you are interested in some Edgar merchandise, you'll find that in the description of this video. There is some good clearance stuff going in there. A lot of it's already gone yesterday. It went very quick. So get yourselves in there quickly if you're looking for any of that. Round of 128, we told you yesterday, watch out for Graham Usher. I think he gets a card. I think Graham Usher's a tour card holder once again at the end of this tournament. We'll be interested to see how it goes. Gemma Hayter doing well now, picking up a couple of points and picking up some better performance. This is better from Gemma. Average there just shy of the 90 mark, 5-1 victory over Mark Lynn. And it's good to see the ladies coming and competing at places like Q School, but actually competing as well and putting in those good performances. John Brown is the son of Steve Brown. He's had a tour card before. He had it for 2 years. Didn't really deliver on that occasion, and he hasn't in this game. He's gone down 5-2 to the legend that is Steve Beaton. I'm sure a lot of people will be hoping he gets himself through. Archie Self is another good young player to keep an eye out for. He's played well in regards to his start at the Super Series. He played well when he played at Lakeside as well. David Sharp backing up that performance in the previous round. Good performance from him. Jared Cole picking up a massive performance there, 102 average, and really staking a claim here to maybe get his tour card for the very first time. He's been trying for years. He's one of those stories that would really be a story of perseverance. Paul Lewis had a great day yesterday, but he won't be singing about that one today. A 5-4 defeat to Cavan Phillips. Kevin Maness, I said keep an eye out for him. Well, you won't have to keep an eye out for him for very long because he's gone down. 5-1 to Damien O'Driscoll in what I can only say is a bit of a surprise there. Kevin Maness, a real slump in performance going out at the third round stage. Pete McGoyan, not going to be his year in regards to picking up his tour card. He's going to have to do some bits tomorrow because remember, everyone comes back the next day. So just because they haven't got the results today, they could do it all tomorrow. But look at this game. When you talk about a blast from the past, we've got Wayne Jones taking on Kevin Painter. It feels like Pro Tour season 2011 to 2015 all over again with that one. Wayne Jones getting the victory, Kevin there to purely give himself the opportunity should he want to play on the Challenge Tour. And that's something I'd like to see changed. The ruling around Q School and attending. Because the rules state you have to play to the best of your ability, but some people like to just go to play on the Challenge Tour. They don't really want the tour card. So maybe it needs to go back to how it was. In the past, you could just pay to enter the Challenge Tour. Now you've got to go there and you might knock people out or you could mess the tournament. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. But let's have a look who's not a fan of the last 64. Graham Usher. Well, my predictions aren't going too well, are they? Graham Usher, 5-3 defeat to Noel Cullerton. He's going to need a bit more tomorrow. He's knocking on the door. He doesn't have to do too much tomorrow. I think he gets through and we'll probably see the best of him in stage 2. Gemma Hayter's run comes at the end there to Alton McDyer, someone who made his Super Series debut in 2025. Ronan McDonough, another one there, who made his Super Series debut in 2025 and certainly caught the attention, the way he played the week and the sort of style of which he got through. Steve Beaton ended up losing the final game yesterday. Another run here to the final game. That puts him through really regardless of if he wins that last game or not. Tommy Morris, great performance. Another one, just keep an eye on. And that's what these streams are great for, these reviews. Should I say, not streams. These reviews are great because you get to see and bring to life and point you in the direction of some potential shock, surprises and places to look. I really rate Scott Baker as well. I think he's got a lovely, easy flow in action, but that game wouldn't have shown it. But he's another one maybe that we need to keep an eye on throughout the campaign. John Henderson, though, there'll be a lot of happy people if he was to get himself back on the tour. He's looking very good now to going through to stage 2. The next round, the winners are guaranteed to go through. Those that lose, we'll see how they go in the ranking table. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow I will be going live for a good period of Q School. This is the final stage of stage 1, the final opportunity for players. So I will be live streaming. Keep your eye out for that. It'll be at the start and we'll be on for a good few hours looking at those results and seeing how it goes. But if you're not, I'll be doing a review like this at the end of the day, bringing it to life for you. Here is how it stands. The guys down the left-hand side here have guaranteed themselves a day off. They are definitely through to stage number 2. Couple of players to pick out here of interest for you. Stephen Rosny played at Lakeside this year, came through the qualifier over in Budapest. He's gone through, good performance there from him throughout the day. He'll be in stage number 2 trying to pick up his tour card. Chaz Barstow, great day. one of the performers of the day in regards to the averages, but not as much as David Sharp. He has been sharp. He's been excellent throughout the day, and that was a good game against Jamie Kellin in the final there. But David Sharp certainly has got the attention and the eye with the levels he has shown. But the main man, the one we all want to see back on the tour, Steve Beaton, he has gone through. For the guys down here on the right-hand side, they have all picked up a good amount of points, and this is how it translates. Here is the table after 2 days of play. You have to finish with inside the top 47, which means these players on 4 points are pretty much all there, all in. So we can have a look at some of the names in here. We've got the likes, James Richardson, as we mentioned, big win for him against Raymond van Barneveld a few years ago. Jamie Kellen's won a week at the Super Series and been chasing more, but he might not get an opportunity if he's to pick up his tour card here. John Henderson at the top of the tree at the moment on legs difference. He's one that no doubt we'll be keeping an eye on. Graham Usher, one of my real top tips to get through this. He's on 4 points at the moment, so he looks pretty safe. For everybody else, it's a bit of a battle, a bit of a nervy wait, maybe a little bit more needed going into the final couple of days. Someone's probably going to get through on 3 points, but they're going to need a good legs difference as well. So for all these players on 3, they're going to be feeling a little bit of pressure tomorrow, because look at this. They are all stacking up on 2 points behind, ready to pounce. There is an awful lot of players there just sat waiting to strike, which is going to bring us a very exciting day tomorrow, which is why I always like to go live on the last days. I'll be live tomorrow and I'll be live on the very end day. As far as today goes, guys, we have filled up another 16 spaces, probably more if we account for the table. The final 1 to 8 from the UK is starting to fill up. I'll be doing a review like this as well for the European guys, so keep your eyes out for that one. I'll see you either live or on the video tomorrow.